Hello, and a very warm welcome to our Bitesize live Q&A. Today we're going to be chatting about scholarships for future international students coming to study at the University of Glasgow. We're delighted to have you with us today. My name is Mark, and I work in the external relations team here at the University of Glasgow. And I'm really pleased to also be joined today by my colleague Maria. Maria, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Maria, and I work in the scholarships team within external relations. And it's great to be here today for this live session.
Thanks, Maria. So I know that we've got people tuning in from literally all across the world today. So it would be great if you could let us know in the live chat where you're tuning in from today. So just to kind of let you know what to expect, we will be with you probably for about the next 15 minutes, chatting through all things scholarships at the University of Glasgow. And for those of you who are kind of watching live, you can also submit your questions through our live chat, and that will remain open for the next 30 minutes. So lots of opportunities for you to ask any questions, and hopefully today will be a really informative session. So without any further ado, I think we'll get started. So firstly, we've had quite a few questions asking sort of how to search for a scholarship. So Maria, could you maybe talk us through the process?
So we have a database of all internal and external scholarships available on glasgow.ac.uk/scholarships. As you can see, it's a very simple search function. All you need to enter is your information regarding where you're coming from, the level of study in the program that you wish to study. Some of our scholarships are program specific or country specific. So if you're thinking of applying to different courses, it may be worthwhile to do this search for each of the courses you're applying for. All specific eligibility criteria and the application link and any deadlines are available on individual scholarship web pages. And if you're searching or if you're looking at information about your program, the course relevant scholarships are also available on the program web pages under the fees and funding section.
That's great. Thanks very much, Maria. Yeah, and great to be able to see the search function there, so anyone tuning in today gets an idea of sort of how to search and how to begin to identify what you may be able to apply for or be eligible for. Thanks, Maria. So second question, could you maybe talk us through how you apply for a scholarship? Could you tell us, do you have to be holding an offer first? And what's the kind of general criteria?
So for majority of our scholarships, you don't have to be an offer holder to apply. However, you do have to have a program application already submitted, as you will need your student ID and your program application number to apply via our scholarship portal. Once you receive your offer, our portal will be able to recognize it, and we will assess your application after the scholarship closing date. Once you have identified what scholarships you wish to apply for, you will see an application form. And again, as you can see, it's very simple. It just collects some general information from you in order to register on our scholarship portal. It is very important that the information you enter there is accurate and correct, so that the portal can recommend other scholarships that you may be eligible for. Eligibility criteria, again, are different for all of our scholarships. So for any detail, I'd recommend to read in the web pages and the search function as mentioned before. After you have registered, you will be able to see the recommended scholarships on your portal. So this is what it's going to look like. So again, very simple view. And you need to apply for each of the scholarships separately. The application form itself on the portal is very simple and does not require you to upload any additional documents or any lengthy personal statements or anything like that. We also have 5 automatic discounts, which means you do not need to apply for those at all. If you are eligible, you will receive an award email from us within a couple of days from receiving your program offer.
That's great. Thanks, Maria. And yeah, I think in my experience at this stage, it's really all about doing your research, checking what you might be eligible for, but also really helpful that the system also kind of flags any other awards that you might be eligible for and recommending that you apply for those. So yeah, I think the takeaway is do your research, use the search function on the website, see what you might be eligible for and what the criteria is, and take it from there. Thanks, Maria. So leading on from that, are there any particular scholarships that you would recommend that international students apply for?
Yeah, so it's quite difficult to highlight specific scholarships as there are so many, and they will depend on your program and fee status or country where you're coming from. So I would still recommend using the search function. I feel like I'm just repeating myself here. However, we do have a wide range of Adam Smith Business School scholarships, varying from £7,000 tuition fee waivers all the way up to the full fee waiver and stipend scholarships. We also have the Global Leadership Scholarship, which is our largest, apart from the automatic discounts, which is our largest scholarship. And this is a £10,000 fee waiver. And we award 300 of those every year. So it is a very popular scheme. We also have a more specific African and Caribbean Excellence Scholarship awarded to 20 students, which is a full fee waiver. For international undergraduate students, we award hundreds of automatic awards, such as World Changers Global Excellence Scholarships, which is a £7,000 discounts for every year of study, and the more specific World Changers Glasgow EU Scholarship as well.
Thanks, Maria. Yeah, no, that's great. And I think just underlines the kind of vast number of options that we have in terms of scholarships, both across the board and then those that, as you mentioned, are kind of very specific to students from particular regions or who are applying for particular programs. So yeah, and I'll echo you. Just the database is your friend. Search through that and see what you might be eligible for. Brilliant. Okay, so next question that we've received is, how long does it take to find out if you've been successful, Maria?
So there are different closing dates for different scholarships. All can be checked on individual web pages. We aim to communicate decisions within a couple of weeks from scholarship closing date, but the processes for different scholarships can be different again. So more information can be found on individual web pages. For the Global Leadership Scholarship, which is the largest scheme I mentioned before, we aim to contact you within 6 weeks from your program offer being made. So this is kind of more of a rolling on basis awarding that goes on all the way until applications close for programs. And for any automatic awards, it will be confirmed to you almost immediately after you receive your program offer. So a couple of days after you receive your program offer, if you are eligible for any of the automatic awards, you will receive a separate email from us.
Brilliant, thank you. And leading on from that question then, so we've talked about the university website and the search function and the programme pages that have lots of information about scholarships. But other than the University of Glasgow website, Maria, are there any other places that you would recommend that international students should be looking for scholarships?
So some of the external scholarships are already advertised via our web pages, so they can be found there. Otherwise, you can also have a look at government-sponsored scholarships in your own country. Often you can find some private companies in a specific sector as well, offering scholarships to students to study abroad. For more specifically for PhD scholarships, I would recommend to take a look at our graduate web pages on the Glasgow website. And for any Erasmus Mundus scholarships, you can have a look at individual consortium pages as well.
That's great. Thanks, Maria. And yeah, I think that all kind of loops back to what I said earlier, just about doing your research. I think it's really useful that we include some of those external scholarships in our database. So some examples for people tuning in today, that includes some of the kind of big awards, so things like Chevening scholarships, Commonwealth shared scholarships. This year we also have a number of British Council Great scholarships for students coming from particular countries or applying for particular programs. So yeah, it really just all rolls back to that research piece that I would really recommend that you're all doing. And that also extends to your own country as well. So as you mentioned, Maria, some countries sponsor or fund students to study abroad. You would generally receive that funding at home and you would take that with you when you're looking to study abroad. So lots of opportunities and options out there. But yep, our website, a really good place to start, but there are other options out there as well. Okay, so I know that some people tuning in today will already have applied, some will be just thinking about applying. Some of you might actually already have received an offer from us, so congratulations if that's the case. And I guess as an international student applying abroad, sometimes it can feel a bit daunting. You're maybe not sure sort of what the next steps are. So we have a real wealth of really useful information on our website. So the first thing I wanted to highlight was just that we have offer holder hubs on our website. So we have one for undergraduate offer holders and another one for postgraduate offer holders. And there's so much information on there about next steps, about things you should be thinking about, also opportunities to register to join online events and information sessions to learn more about life at the University of Glasgow or more about your subject and programme. So that's a really, really good resource and somewhere that I would direct you to have a look at. Another sort of question I'm often asked about from prospective international students is about accommodation. And sort of when to apply. So just to let you know that we would recommend that you apply for accommodation basically as soon as you can, and applications are likely to open around kind of late February and early March. And on the accommodation pages on our website, there's an interest form that you can put in your details, and you will be notified once accommodation applications are open. But the accommodation web pages are really useful. It's got profiles of each of the residences, breaking down sort of different prices, but there's also really good videos, virtual tours, and student blogs on there as well, so that you can begin to kind of see what the differences are between the residences and think about where you might want to apply to live when you're coming to the University of Glasgow. Another important thing is just to kind of make sure that you're familiar with the conditions of your offer. It may well be that you're still waiting on exam results and things, and we would just ask that you upload any of the required documentation to the application portal just as soon as you have it. And that will allow my colleagues in the admissions team to make any updates and update your offer accordingly. And linked to that, I would say please just keep checking your emails. That is the main way that we will communicate with you. So in relation to your offer, anything to do with scholarship applications and things. So please do keep an eye on your emails. We understand it's a really busy time. Some of you might be preparing for exams, still completing your current studies, but please do keep an eye on your emails for any important information. Another really interesting initiative that I would recommend is joining our offer holder communities. This is a chance for you to meet other offer holders before you arrive in Glasgow. So you will automatically receive an email invitation to join these communities once you have an offer of study. But it's a really good way to potentially meet other students before you come to Glasgow. They might be from the same country, they might be studying the same programme. We understand that it's a big decision to choose to move to study internationally. So those communities are there to help you and support you before you arrive in Glasgow. Also, just to highlight lots of other really useful information, we have a Get to Know Glasgow podcast that talks about student life, employability, funding, and lots of really good student vlogs on YouTube, as well as blogs from our current students. So a really good way for you to get an idea of kind of a taste of life at the University of Glasgow. If there is anything else that you wanted to ask us about, there's an inquiry form on our website. So please do keep in touch. If there's anything at all that we can do to help, please do let us know, and we'll be really, really happy to help. So that's all that we've got time for today's bite-sized Q&A. If you're joining live and you do have any other questions, we will continue to answer these for the next little while on the live chat. I would like to extend my thanks to you, Maria, for joining me today. Thanks for all that information you shared about all things scholarships. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone tuning in today did as well. So we hope that you found today's session useful. And we hope to be welcoming you to Team UofG in the not too distant future. So thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks so much.